Hello, everybody. Welcome back to Horror Trends. My name is Stephanie Bree, and this is the inaugural video of my horror franchise rankings. This is a new video series I will be doing sporadically, so don't expect these every week. But from time to time, I'll throw up a horror franchise ranking, and I'll give you my rank. Excuse me. Of every, there's a trash can right here, by the way, of every movie in a horror franchise. And we're starting, obviously, with the greatest of all time, A Nightmare on Elm Street. Because this is one I can talk about without having to watch anything and doing any, research or anything like that, because I already know these movies. This is just ranking them worst to best, however many there are in the franchise, and just talking about a little bit about what I like about this one, what I don't like about it, etc. So number 9 in the Nightmare on Elm Street franchise, because there are 9 of them. I'm counting the remake in this. Number 9 is Wes Craven's New Nightmare, my least favorite of all the Freddy Krueger movies. I know I did a terrible review of this movie and I deleted it from the channel, so I will be doing a full review of it again soon. But I'm not ready to tackle it. I hate this movie and I do not like talking about it. And long story short, I hate two things about it more than the rest. There's a lot of things I hate about it, but the two things I hate the most is one, the goddamn meta bullshit. I fucking hate meta bullshit. And I hate it when they break the fourth wall. I hate it. I goddamn hate it. The second thing I hate even more than all of that. This is, when I watched this movie, I had a red hot, fiery hatred for this movie the first time I watched it. Because it literally ignores the entire franchise. The established canon, the mythology, the franchise. It just pisses on it, shits on it, throws it in the sewer, flushes it down the toilet, and then pisses on what's left of its grave. I hate that. I fucking hate that. Nightmare on Elm Street is my favorite movie of all time. So I have a lot of respect and admiration and enjoyment and pleasure from following the franchise as a cohesive story. And when you take that away, it makes me angry. Number 8 is A Nightmare on Elm Street Part 2, Freddys Revenge. I hate this movie. I don't hate it as much as I hate Wes Craven's New Nightmare, but I still hate this movie. Look, I'm a queer woman, so I can appreciate and respect what they did for queer representation in this movie. A plus for that. And I can also respect that it does sort of create an explanation for the events of Nightmare on Elm Street 3, which I can give it credit for that. But I hate everything else about this movie. It's so boring. It shouldn't be called Freddy's Revenge because he doesn't get revenge on literally fucking anyone at all in this movie. It's treated like a fucking haunted house movie, which is bullshit. Jessie is the worst of all the quote final girls. There's nothing at all I like about this movie. Nothing at all. Number 7 is the Nightmare on Elm Street remake. I actually like this one a little bit. I don't love it, but I don't hate it. This one's fine by me. I enjoy it. I don't rewatch it once a year or nothing like that. But when the mood strikes, I'll rewatch it because it's a good movie. I think, it's not terrible. I don't think it's deserved of the hate it gets. Number 6 is A Nightmare on Elm Street 6, Freddys Dead, The Final Nightmare. While there are a lot of things I do enjoy about this movie, let's be real, it's pretty fucking dumb. And it's the least bloody of all of them. I won't say it has the least kills, because I think Freddy's Revenge has the least kills. But Freddy's Dead doesn't have very many kills. It has like 3, I think. Maybe 4. Maybe 4. 3 or 4? I don't remember. None of them are particularly impressive. The Carlos kill is the best in the film, and it's not even that great. Um, and you have too many goddamn survivors at the end. He really should have killed the blonde girl and possibly the doctor and just left the daughter to be the sole survivor. That would have been better. We would have got a couple more kills. Probably not great kills, but at least we could have got a couple more kills. I'm also not a fan of the fact that Freddy had a daughter. I'm sorry. I liked him better when he was a monster and didn't have a somewhat believable motivation. I liked it when he was just pure evil, essentially, and wanted to do bad because he was a bad guy. Number 5 is ironic because it's a Nightmare on Elm Street Part 5, The Dream Child. This is one I'll defend. I actually enjoy this movie. I don't love it, but I don't hate it, but I like it more than some of the others. I actually like to watch this movie from time to time. When I'm rewatching the Nightmare on Elm Street movies, I skip over Part 2, and I do not even bother with New Nightmare. I'll still watch 5 because it works for me. It's a good movie. Number 4 is going to piss some people off because it's not ranked higher. But this is my list, and this is based on how I feel and what I enjoy. And number 4 is Freddy vs. Jason. And, I like Freddy vs. Jason, don't get me wrong. But it's got an awful lot of fucking Jason in it. And I don't want to see Jason in my Nightmare on Elm Street movie. I didn't want Freddy vs. Jason. I just wanted another Nightmare on Elm Street movie. And this was 70% a Nightmare on Elm Street movie. But the 30% of the Friday the 13th that taints this movie, I mean, it's fun. It's fine. It's interesting. But no, I want fucking Freddy Krueger to shove Jason's soul in his fucking dick just to be an asshole and fucking wave it around at the teenagers. Okay, maybe not wave it around, but you know what I mean. Because the souls go on his body somewhere, and I think that would be a cool place to put Jason's soul. Number 3 is Nightmare on Elm Street 4, The Dream Master. I sometimes go back and forth if I like this one more than The Dream Warriors. I love The Dream Master. I watch it a lot. Sometimes it's one of my go-to comfort movies. I'll just put it on when I need to feel good. This is a movie that makes me feel good. It's a comfort movie. I have criticisms of it, like I have criticisms of all of the movies in the franchise, but not enough criticisms to drop it down further on the list. This is where it belongs. And I really like this movie. It's got good imaginative kills, good imaginative dream sequences. It's got a fun story. It doesn't have to make sense. It's a Nightmare on Elm Street. It's a slasher movie. It doesn't have to make sense. Bad guy kills teenagers. That's the story. We don't need more than that. Number 2 is A Nightmare on Elm Street 3, The Dream Warriors. Now, there was a time when I was younger, I thought this was my favorite. But as time went on and I got older, I grew not only to appreciate the original more, which is obviously number 1. It's the only one left. But also, eventually, I got to a point where I started to realize that I connected with the original more than the Dream Warriors. And spoilers, I guess, for a future video. I spent time in a psych ward in my life. And that's not an experience I want to relive. And it's not necessarily an experience I want to connect with somebody, a character in a movie over. So that's kind of a knock against the movie because it is a fairly accurate depiction of what it's like in a psych ward. It's not fun, let me tell you that. But Dream Warriors is probably the best, at least in terms of the most imaginative kills and the best dream sequences in the franchise. Second best in terms of special effects, best special effects goes to Dream Master, and you can argue all day long in the comments. I don't care. You're gonna be wrong, and that's all there is to it. Even better effects than Freddy vs. Jason, which, while good, you know what? Over relied on CGI. Let's be honest. And obviously, A Nightmare on Elm Street is the best of the best. It's my favorite fucking movie of all time. Why wouldn't it be at the top of the list? I mean, that wouldn't be mathematically feasible. If it's my favorite movie of all time, it's by extension my favorite Nightmare on Elm Street. I mean, it has to be. And it is. I find myself going back to A Nightmare on Elm Street more than any other movie. There are times, and there have been days, where I will watch it 2 or 3 times in a day. It's that good. I just watched it like 2 or 3 weeks ago, and I'm due for another rewatch. I don't think I'll ever get tired of the original A Nightmare on Elm Street. I just feel like it's the greatest fucking movie ever made, and nothing is ever going to top it. Because Wes Craven's dead, and Robert Englund's a crippled old man. Decrepit old man? I don't know. He can't do the character anymore. So nothing will ever recreate the magic of this movie. Unless they somehow find a way to clone Robert Englund and they make a 30-year-old Robert Englund clone. I don't know. Not impossible, but let's not bank on that.